Welcome to TestTube Plus, everybody. I'm Trace. This is where we try and wrap our brains around some serious science. Today, why Mars is better than Venus. And it's way better than Venus. Come on. I guess the real question is, why Mars? Why wouldn't we go to Venus or maybe asteroids? That's also being talked. Or even, why not back to the moon? It's closer, it's easier to get to, we've done it before. And as much as we want to colonize Mars, you can't really live on Mars. They say habitable, but that's not really accurate. Summer on Mars, it's nice. It's like a balmy 80 degrees. Winter on Mars, negative 200 degrees. The atmosphere on Earth, we've got oxygen, we've got nitrogen, we've got carbon dioxide. On Mars, it's 95% carbon dioxide. So that's not good. Can't breathe that. It doesn't work. Just to get to Mars, on the spacecraft, you're going to get 15 times the annual radiation limit for a worker in a nuclear power plant just riding in the spacecraft on the way to Mars. And Mars's atmosphere isn't exactly awesome at shielding the humans who might make it to the surface from radiation. So even still, you're going to be exposed to a lot of rads the entire time you're there. That's not good. So while they say Mars is habitable, they're not really. It's not really habitable. So why not the moon? It's an ideal staging ground for launches anywhere else in the solar system. If we can make a colony on the moon, you get a lot of the benefits of being on Mars. You get to be off of the planet just in case something goes wrong. You get to have a colony somewhere else. You get to explore space. You get to explore what technology would be like off Earth, which is important to build habitats in an environment that's very harsh. It's great for old people, something my dad always said about the moon. 1/6 the gravity. Huh? Come on. You can hop around, kind of fun. And plus, it's really close in case there are problems. Mars is so far away that if something were to go wrong on Mars, us mounting any kind of effort to save the people there would be very difficult. The moon is a few days away. Mars is months away, even at its closest, depending on how far away it happens to be from us at the time. So the moon is a great idea. Asteroid mining, also a great idea. Asteroids contain precious minerals, they contain metals, also valuable for commercial exploitation, which is an incentive to go to space. The moon also has helium-3, by the way. I didn't mention that. It's a mining resource that they can get from the moon, which is very valuable in industry. There's a commercial benefit outside of just idealism. Mars has those commercial benefits, but you have to be able to get those minerals back. Again, difficult to get there and back. Although both of these things I haven't really mentioned, the Outer Space Treaty of 1967 bans the owning of any celestial body. So let's say a giant company finds a way to get to an asteroid, capture it, and either mine it there or bring it back to Earth and mine it in orbit, maybe at a Lagrange point or something. Do they own the mine? Do they own the asteroid? Do they own what they get from the asteroid? According to the Outer Space Treaty of 1967, they don't, and it's actually illegal for them to do so. So maybe asteroids aren't the best idea. Venus, that's a good idea. It's close. It's a little warmer than Mars. Actually, it's a lot warmer than Mars. Gravity is very similar to Earth, though. Mars is a little smaller, its gravity is a little lower, and we know that gravity doesn't, like low gravity, we don't handle that very well. Gravity on Venus is 90% Earth gravity. But the surface of Venus is not so great. The average atmospheric pressure on Earth is 1. On Venus, it's 92. You would be crushed. The probes that they've sent to Venus, they've taken pictures of Venus's surface. It's an amazing sight. But because of the high pressure, the high temperature, there are like rivers of chemicals flowing down rock faces. And they maintain liquid at that temperature and pressure, and it's crazy. And the probes took pictures and then were immediately crushed. And it rains sulfuric acid from the sky. That's not great. I don't want to live there. So Venus is not so great on the surface, but there is a plan to float dirigibles above Venus, and you could just live in that dirigible. You get a nice warm temperature, you get the resources of those clouds, you could actually maybe even mine or scoop up what's in the clouds in case there's something cool there. There's a lot of solar power available because you're closer to the sun than we are. And again, gravity is pretty normal. So you could live there pretty comfortably as long as you had the resources to do so. And because the atmosphere is a little denser, it requires something a little less light to float on top of that atmosphere, which is pretty cool. It's a really neat plan. You can look it up. It's kind of awesome. But in the end, it's kind of a waste of money to spread the love from asteroids, moons, Venus. We got to pick one. And I don't care. If you go to Venus, I'm excited. You can't walk on the surface. You're floating in a dirigible. I've seen dirigibles. They're at every sporting event. You walk on the surface of Mars, you changed history. You float in the surface of, or float above the surface of Venus, you did something really cool. But you didn't change anything, even though it's another planet. More missions have been attempted to Mars than any other place in the solar system. We obviously want to go. We know how to go. We've sent probes there. We've mostly done okay. Some not so okay. Conversion to feet and meters is pretty important. Remember that one. Half of all NASA missions have failed since 1960. So we're batting okay. Not great. So there you have it. Mars wins. It's the best. For even more evidence, please subscribe. Tomorrow, we'll be talking to you about space travel in general. Is it worth the money? If you missed yesterday's video, click here now to catch up on that one, and thank you for watching.